Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Destiny. In today's video, we're going to be discussing how to focus. Okay, so I wanted to discuss how to focus because I thought it was fitting. It's the new year and a lot of us are creating goals and, just things that we want to accomplish in 2021. So I just wanted to give y'all some information just to share my revelations and my testimonies with you. So recently, I used to be so unfocused. I was unfocused by a lot. I was unfocused at work because I just didn't feel like being there. I was unfocused at home because it was just a lot going on, and I would let things consume my mind. I would worry about a lot of things. I would have anxiety about a lot of things. So how did I learn to focus at work, and how did I get over my anxiety? So at work, I basically prayed about why do I feel this way at work? Why do I not want to be here? And I had to remind myself, and I just had to have a revelation, just reminding myself girl, you prayed for this new job. You prayed for this new job. You asked God for more money. You got more money. You don't have a micromanager. Your managers barely bother you. Your job is very flexible. This job is a blessing. You're not even looking at this job. You're looking at all the negative stuff, but you're not looking at the blessings. The blessings should outweigh the negative stuff. Don't even worry about the negative stuff. God has that. Now with my home life, what I had to do was stop worrying. Stop worrying, and whatever was a burden to me, give it to God. And I'm not saying that, it's just so easy, God, take this from me. No, it's not like that. I still struggle with giving God full control of some areas in my life. And it's like a tug of war. God is probably like, girl, give it to me. And I'm like, I'm not there yet. So, that's something that I do still struggle with, that I have to learn, give him full control, have faith. I have faith. I just, controlling. It's just you want to feel in control of everything. You don't want to go into the unknown, but that's not having full faith, which, whatever. We'll get into that later, I guess, when I get over that. I'm not over it yet. I'm still going through it, okay? So those are some things. And then I actually wrote down some questions too, and I have an exercise for y'all. So the exercise is to have diagrams. In school, we used to learn about items that are mutually exclusive. So what does that mean? So mutually, I can't even say it. Mutually exclusive means that you have, one set of items over here and then another set of items over here, and they have no similar qualities. And I say this to say, because you want your goals and God's promises to be, you don't want them to be mutually exclusive. You want them to be similar. So a lot of times that our focus, we find ourselves on focuses because our goals are not aligned with what God has promised us. A lot of times we are not focused because our goals are not aligned with what God has promised us. Our goals are our will. It's not God's will. There is just stuff that we want to happen, but it's not taking in consideration, what am I supposed to be doing this year for God? What am I supposed to be doing this year? What has God called me to do this year, this season, this moment? What has God called me to do? And that's a lot of times why, we just find it difficult to focus on any task or to focus on something that we want to achieve in life. So one of the things that I did do is write down my goals. And then I wrote down God's promises, which you'll see here in this screen. So I made just 2 circles and wrote them down. And then I have a 3rd circle for my actions. So what you want to do is combine the 2, and you see, okay, what are my similarities? What did I have listed out on my goals, and what did God promise me? And put the similarities together. Those that are similar, those should be your target items for the year. Those should be your target items for the season, or however long you're trying to, you know, accomplish this goal. So that's what you want to do. So that's what I'm going to challenge y'all to do, is to make your own diagrams and see, are your goals aligned with what God has promised you? And then write down your action items. So one of the, I'll go over some things with y'all. So y'all already saw my diagram. So on there, you see I have a house. So I've been wanting a house. I've talked about it a lot. I don't know. But anyways, I've been wanting a house. I've been wanting a house for forever because I have kids and I'm just over apartment living. I'm over it. So what God did promise me a house, which I don't know when I'm going to have a house, but he promised me one. Okay. So one of the things that I need to do on my end to achieve that house is, one, I prayed for provisions. So I prayed for provisions. I had prayer requests for provisions, and then I got blessed with the second job. And it is a blessing for me. People are like, aren't you tired? This. But no, this is something that I asked God for. I asked God specifically for provisions because I knew in order for me to have a house, I have to have extra funds. I want to have extra funds. There's some things that I want to wrap up. I don't want to go into this house with a lot of debt. You know, I have student loans. I have a car note. There's certain things that I want to get, you know, decreased before I get into this house. So by me having a new job, I do have extra provisions. So one of the things that I do have to do is find myself to be focused on, how do I save these extra provisions instead of just spending it on whatever, however. So one of the things is to create a savings account. Create a savings account, especially for this house. Another one is to create a spending budget. So create like a monthly budget. That way I can be disciplined. I want to be disciplined. Being focused means being disciplined. So if we're not disciplined with anything, then we're not going to have focus. It's what's important. What's important for me is this house. So holding myself to a higher standard, and just holding myself to be accountable for my actions with these extra provisions that God has blessed me with. And a lot of the times when you're trying to focus on something, there will be people, you know, chiming in your ear saying whatever. And that's when you have to learn how to use discernment. Whatever God has promised you, whatever your goals are, sometimes you have to discern different people out, because some people may not be in your corner. Some people might just be like, okay, she says she's gonna get that. That's not gonna happen. And I'm just gonna stay here and, you know, fake act like I have your back. But you have to know who's in your corner and who's not. And you have to learn how not to share everything. Everything is not for everybody. Every conversation that you have with God should not be shared with everybody. You should have your own intimate relationship with God. That way you can focus and you don't have any distractions. You don't have anybody in your ear telling you anything about what God has promised you. Go into your prayer closet or wherever you pray and have those special moments with him. Take 5 minutes out of your day to keep praying for what God has promised you, because pray until something happens, right? Push. So yeah, that's one of the things that I am doing with the house. That's I'll share that with you. Okay, now I do have questions that I will go over with y'all that I want y'all to answer, and they will be listed here. I will pause the screen for a little bit so that y'all can write the questions down. I did. Are your goals aligned with what God has promised you? Are your actions aligned with those goals? What are your distractions? So just writing these things down so that way you already know the tools. You know what you need to do. So that way, when you go out throughout the day, if you find yourself getting, okay, I've been scrolling on Instagram a little bit too long. What am I supposed to be doing? if I'm scrolling on Instagram, I can't be reading the Bible. These are things that I tell myself, like me holding myself accountable. I'm sitting here at work, it's downtime. Let me go ahead and prep for this YouTube video. Let me go ahead and prep for my other job. I'm never not sitting doing anything. Like I'm always doing something that's productive. So you want to just make sure that you're being productive in life and that you're holding yourself to you're being disciplined. And one of the things that I also had on my list was to create a routine. So why do I want a routine? I want a routine because I want some structure. I feel for myself, I need structure. I'm not just a go with the flow type of person. I'm somebody that it has to be structured for me, or I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, what am I supposed to do with my life without a planner? I'm the type of person that I have to write down and I have to check it off. I need my planner. I need my structure. That's just me. And you have to learn yourself to know what you need. So, I feel like as you get older and as you progress, you start to learn yourself more, and you start to learn what works for you. What works for other people may not work for you. It's all about yourself. Like, you can't look at somebody else and say, okay, this is what she's doing, so let me go ahead and do this too, because you have to learn how to, mold stuff into your own, mold it into your own, put it in your own words, paraphrase somebody. Okay. So I hope these tips and exercises help you with your spiritual journey and getting closer to God and understanding yourself through God. So if you have any other tips or suggestions, leave them below. But I do want to go ahead and close out this testimony, today's video, with Romans chapter 9, verse 5. Those who live according to the flesh have their minds set on what the flesh desires. But those who live in accordance with the Spirit have their minds set on what the Spirit desires. First is just reiterating what we just discussed. Making sure that our goals are aligned with what God has promised us. Making sure that we are living living to be what He has anointed us to be. Like, what is your anointing? What is your anointing? What has God called you to be in this season? So basically, being like it is on earth, like it is in heaven. So that's how I'm going to close out the video. If you have anything else to add, leave it in the comment section below. But again, stay tuned for the next video next Sunday. Thank you. Happy growing.